Good morning everybody and welcome to a game between Team Liquid and Stark.gg for the Dota Pit League Season 4. We're casting a game today because I'm gotta make videos. This is fast and fun and gives me an opportunity to practice casting and all of that good stuff. So yeah, just gonna be doing another cast. I hope you all don't mind and hope you all are up for this. Anyhow, this is for the Dota Pit League Season 4, as I already mentioned. The game looked somewhat interesting. I mean, it has some cool heroes, like, I still think Lone Druid is cool, I still think Oracle is cool, I think Jakiro is pretty cool as well. Haven't actually seen too much of Jakiro so far, although he now is a literal tank, as he deals 7 more damage since 6.86. Sorry. I don't know, I always think those changes are really funny, where it's just like one thing gets increased. Well, just a little bit, right? Like 7 doesn't seem like a huge number. But all of a sudden the hero's like, oh god, this hero's actually scary, right? And that's kind of what happened to Jakiro. He deals 7 more damage and all of a sudden, oh, this guy actually hurts. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna see a Jakiro here. As per bans, we have an IO, we have a Chen, Invoker and Darkseer. First bans, nothing too crazy there. Second phase of bans, Undying, OD, Death Prophet and Broodmother. Again, nothing too crazy there. I'm not really surprised by any of this. I think the Undying ban is mostly just so you don't get an Undying Jakiro Gyrocopter like setup, which, you know, you may say, well, how does that work? But you just gotta consider what are all 3 of these heroes good at. Fighting early, going into your face and just beating the shit out of you. And that's something you're trying to avoid, right? So Gyrocopter and Jakiro, already pretty aggressive. Don't want to give them another really aggressive early fighting hero, so we're just gonna take out the Undying. I suppose the OD is just taken out because he's scary. Not really sure why, but sure, why not, right? Like, that's just a good hero. We gotta see the Juggernaut come out from Team Liquid. Honestly, that's a pretty solid hero. Not necessarily what I would expect, but I do like Juggernaut, and I don't mind him. Right, I see no problem with that. I think Juggernaut does pretty okay against Gyrocopter, right? Of course, he can spin away from the Rocket Barrage early on, and then later on you just ultimate him. You should be okay. He does well against Jakiro too. Actually, you know, Juggernaut might actually be really cool here. Also, a nice thing about Juggernaut is he does have that healing ward, right? And the healing ward is very powerful. It heals a lot. So having something that kind of keeps your team going and having something that kind of allows you to fight early, like the healing ward, like the spin, right? Things that a Juggernaut provides, seems to be a pretty good choice against a Gyrocopter Jakiro, right? Gonna see the Witch Doctor come out, instant pick of the Batrider. Sure, why not? Why not? Batrider is just really solid. Especially if you look at the current lineup from Stark, right? They only have the Gyrocopter really as a core. Enchantress, that's interesting. Enchantress is gonna do well against Lone Druid, because Misha struggles to attack her, right? She just never really has that much attack speed, even if you buff her up. She never gets to like really high values there. At the same time, things I don't like about Enchantress here is she dies to Batrider, she dies to Juggernaut, she dies to Oracle, and she dies to Radiance. Generally, like, that's what I don't like about Enchantress. She's just really squishy, right? And she just dies. Her heal isn't very good. The Untouchable is useful early on and then stops being useful really quickly. She deals a lot of damage, which is really her biggest asset, so we're gonna see if that's gonna be enough or if that is not going to work out for them. Both teams seem to be looking at a mid hero. The Lone Druid could be a mid. Actually, you know what? I think Team Liquid is gonna grab a support here. They'll have the Juggernaut in the safe lane with the Oracle, Batrider off lane, Lone Druid mid. Or Batrider mid and Lone Druid off lane. Though Lone Druid has to go mid these days. So probably another support, something healing, something aggressive. They could actually take an Omni Knight or something like that. I think that would be an interesting choice, but don't really know. Right, we'll see in a second. For Stark, we do have a double supporting lineup already. We have the Gyrocopter Enchantress. I'm not sure if the Enchantress is gonna go mid, so probably not, if I had to guess. Jakiro may be off lane. I'm actually not sure what Stark is laning here. The Enchantress could be jungle, she could just play safe lane, she could play mid, right? I don't think she should play mid, but she could. Maybe she's considered to be the counter to the Lone Druid, but you gotta keep in mind Team Liquid can't just put the Batrider in the mid and then you're fucked. So, kind of tricky. We see the Alchemist coming out. That's likely the mid hero for Stark with Enchantress as an offlaner? Probably. I don't know. Shit. God, of course. You know what? Like, I'm not even kidding, but like these things, like me coughing and yawning, never happen unless I start casting. I'm like, oh god, how do I stop myself from that? I've actually thought about this. I could maybe just I could like just enable the webcam, right? Because it doesn't happen when I have the webcam enabled. Whatever, let's just give it a shot. You guys let me know if you like this or not. But I really don't know. That is so weird to me, right? Like, I never yawn during videos. Never. That I'm not even tired right now. Well, a little, but not excessively tired, right? Like, I didn't stay up overly long last night. I went to bed at like 1 a.m. Which isn't that bad for me. Like, I've had a tendency of staying up to like 4 or 5 a.m. these last few weeks, so don't really know what's going on there, but that's alright. Anyway, so let me actually... Oh wait, it's already slowed down. Yeah, no, Enchantress just sprawls around really quickly. So the Enchantress is going to be going into the off lane. I wonder if the Jakiro is here to help. Both of them already have the boots, so that's going to be interesting to see. Actually, funny thing about this. Jakiro, 335 movement speed with boots. Enchantress, 380. Like, if she didn't have boots, she would be almost as fast as the Jakiro. We have the Alchemist going into the mid lane. I'm not surprised by that. Gyrocopter likely going bottom with the Witch Doctor to help him out. And, oh, look at that. Liquid already smoking up. They're looking for something here. A smoke gets broken, and they find Valix. He's gonna be slowed down by the Skywrath Mage. We've also got a sticky Napalm coming out. The Oracle is gonna lock him into place for a few seconds. And that should honestly be enough for a kill. Yeah, a few more attacks. And down goes the Witch Doctor. That's first blood in favor of Liquid. Kuroki picks that one up. And while we're talking about the players, let's go and really quickly talk about the players. We've got Jerax playing the Oracle. Matumba Man on the Lone Druid. Fata on the Batrider. Kuroki on the Skywrath Mage. And Mind Control playing the Juggernaut. On the other side, we've got Nymphy on the Gyrocopter. We got Valix on the Witch Doctor. Oxia on the Enchantress, which actually seems to be going mid. I'm still confused. We have Boogie on the Alchemist. No. They're just blocking the lane because she's so fast. She can't just sproink into the top lane and we'll be fine. Or she's jungling. She might also be jungling. I don't know. And then we have Trixie playing the Jakiro, currently going into the off lane. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just confused by what they're gonna do with her. Right? Like, this is a little odd to me. We'll see. She'll likely just stay here, grab herself a creep. Farm the camp. Yeah, it seems like a good start, you know. Kind of get rid of that and then maybe walk into the lane with the creep to kind of like have something to harass with. Seems like a decent idea, but anyway. So, we will have the Batrider in the mid lane going up against the Alchemist. This is also not a good matchup for the Alchemist. Honestly, Batrider is a very powerful mid hero. Really scary, and you can already definitely tell, right? Boogie, not having a good time. Fata, of course, he just runs in and applies the sticky napalm, right? And, you can just not really do much about that. Like, once you have enough sticky napalm charges on a hero, that hero just needs to stay away until they're off. Right? Except, like, if you don't, then this happens. Boogie is dead. Boogie is dead. That's second blood in favor of Team Liquid yet again. He just eats a fairy fire and he's fine. You gotta be careful right there, right? If you have too much sticky napalm on you, then Batrider just deals insane amounts of damage. Even just at level 2, right? He just completely overwhelms everybody. And that's kind of a problem. Alchemist is not really a burst hero, right? Alchemist is a very slow-paced hero. Alchemist is going to be in the mid lane. He's going to put down the acid spray, right? He's going to slowly whittle down the enemy hero and the creep wave. And I guess later on he deals a bit of burst damage through his right click, but at the current stage of the game he doesn't. Nymphy, by the way, gonna be jumped at the bottom lane. Mind Control doesn't want to dive the tower, however, and the Juggernaut and the Skywrath Mage will both retreat. They got a bit of damage in, but in the end it's not going to be enough to secure a kill. But yeah, that's just what I'm saying, right? You have the Batrider, just a hero that's gonna like just kill you if you don't pay attention. And Alchemist doesn't really have any return for that, because his damage output just simply isn't fast enough to kill the Batrider before he kills you. Up at the top lane, we do have Matumba Man going up against the Stark dual off lane. And yes, the Enchantress. This is actually really interesting. So she isn't necessarily laning, right? But she's kind of farming the jungle and using the creeps to harass their safe lane. And it's actually working pretty well. We have the Satyr Tormentor already walking in, just being annoying with his shockwave. And actually at this point the shockwave deals a lot of damage, by the way. Like 120 at this stage of the game is a ton. That creep probably gonna go down though, and that's kind of awkward. You don't want to give these up. So that's gonna be a nice little pick-off right there in favor of Team Liquid. But at the same time, I still think this is a really interesting lane. Alchemist has kind of seemingly given up on this lane already. You can really tell just based on the fact that he's stacking at this point. It's a bit early, right? Like, he also got a point into Unstable Concoction. Likely gonna be an aggressive Alchemist build, since he's not really given the opportunity to farm. He's got 12 last hits at this point, which may not seem that bad if you consider that the Batrider also only has 13, but you have to keep in mind the Batrider is not playing to farm, the Batrider is playing to shut down the Alchemist. And if you do something like that, you will always find yourself with less money. But then again, right, it's not that big of a deal because Batrider doesn't need as much money as an Alchemist does. So he doesn't really mind. Got the courier coming in. Fata will go then grab himself boots and a bottle. Looking really good right there. Looking really, really good right there. And look at that. The Enchantress still being aggressive here. I like that, you know, like they're using the Chikiro and the Enchantress to already get like quite a bit of damage in on the tower. To kind of just, you know, try to deal with the Lord Druid. Lord Druid being very powerful at the moment, right? A really strong hero. And again, the bear right now just can't really attack the Enchantress and Oracle, but it does have a lot of magical burst. I don't know if it's enough, right? Usually Oracle is able to kill people if you have a little bit of extra damage coming in. But the Lone Druid might actually just not be able to damage the Enchantress at this point, right? So the low HP pool probably doesn't even matter at all. So that's a little awkward right there. And Enchantress, she's just going to be in the jungle farming up. You know, just kind of as per usual. You know, like, as soon as I turned on the camera, I stopped yawning. God damn it. Is that like some kind of... what is it called? That weird response thing where you get conditioned to a certain thing? I don't know. Oh well. Got a net coming out? No, it's actually cancelled. But Matumba Man, kind of in an awkward spot. He's trying to cut through the trees. He's going to end up being fine. But look at this. Stark already has the tower almost dead. Getting a lot of damage in. That's kind of a problem, right? The courier actually goes down for the die. I wonder who got that. Where did it die? Well, that's unfortunate. It wasn't anything on it, but still kind of sucks a little. And Lone Druid is trying to defend us, but that tower is dying quick. Wow. You gotta keep in mind, this is while Liquid has a Lone Druid and an Oracle in the lane, right? Two heroes that are pretty good at dealing with something like this. And actually, they're gonna get a third into the mix. Kuroki, you know, coming in. The Skyriff Mage looking to get a kill. Skyriff Mage is the kind of hero they need for this. Skyriff Mage, of course, doesn't right click at all. He just deals magic damage, and he deals a lot of magic damage. So hopefully that's gonna be able to work through the Enchantress, but he's only level 2, and it's just not looking that good, right? Enchantress having the level 3 untouchable already. In the meantime, Fata, he's diving Boogie, and he's diving him deep. Doesn't really want to go too crazy on this. Yeah, he's just gonna be fine with this, you know. Like, okay, we got some damage in. I don't want to die. Courier. almost got sniped right there, but he doesn't want to, you know, overcommit to anything. In the meantime, at the bottom, he's still got Mind Control just farming up against the Gyrocopter. It seems that the Gyrocopter is actually winning that, although not by too much. It's actually really interesting how... Oh, by the way, up at the top, we got Trixie getting called out. He's taking quite a bit of damage. He's gonna be locked down. Enchantress heals him. That heal currently is pretty strong. The bear might actually be the one to fall, and that's a 300 gold bounty in favor of Stark. The Tumberman might be the next, and he goes down to the Witch Doctor. Varnex picks up that. They get both the bear and the Lone Druid. That's pretty big. That is a big bounty, right? Like, at this point, actually, Misha might be worth more than a hero. So, I'm certain that Stark is very happy about that. And not only that, but they also get this tower. Witch Doctor yet again picking that one up, and Varlex is having a time of his life up in this top lane, man. He's starting to really get some money, and he immediately spends all of it on wards. And support life. Hashtag support life. We're gonna see a Threats and the Medallion on the Alchemist. God damn it. Alright. Why? Why does this happen? I don't get it. It's frustrating. But we see Threats and Medallion coming out on the Alchemist. So again, a fighting build, right? Only 1 point into the Grievous Greed, just kind of like making sure he gets at least a little bit more money than the opposing mid-hero. But other than that, going for aggressive options, right? With the Unstable Concoction, with the Acid Spray. An interesting thing to note about Alchemist, he actually is purely physical, right? Acid Spray, physical damage. Unstable Concoction, physical damage. It's actually physical damage, right? So you deal 360 physical damage with the max out and stable concoction. You reduce armor by 7 with this, you reduce another 7 by this. Minus 14 armor. Minus 14 armor on Juggernaut is minus 8. On Scarf Mage is negative 14. On the Lone Druid, even in the bear form, is negative 5. That is a lot. That is a problem, right? So you can burst people really quickly, and that's kind of what that build is about, right? That's kind of what the idea there is. But at the same time, you currently don't really have anyone doing extremely well on your team, right? The Jakiro does have some money, and that's mostly because they got the top tower. And actually, you know what? They take that back. Jakiro is doing really well. I'm actually surprised by that. Now, I'm mostly just looking at the Gyrocopter. I feel like Gyrocopter needs to do a bit better than he's doing right now. But at the same time, you're trying it for the Juggernaut. Also not doing that well. In the meantime, we got Kuroki actually caught out. Cool down on Matumba, man. And he's actually going to go down right here. That's a big pickoff. Nah, it's actually not as big as I thought. I was worried that the Spirit Bear might still be on cooldown after they get that kill. But no, Matumba Man will resurrect and he will be fine. So, in the end, they just get another kill. Actually, we've got an Ice Path coming out from Trixie. He's looking for something at least. The two supports are there to protect their heroes, though. And actually, Trixie is going to be taking a lot of damage here. Fata coming in with the Blink Dagger, and they burst down the Jakiro right away. We got a bounce, but nice. Nice maneuver. They just get away from it. However, the Medallion and minus armor coming out from the Alchemist. It's just too much. It's just too much to tank. The Batrider goes down. And again, negative 14 armor is a big deal. Right, you saw it right there. Alchemist hits like a goddamn truck with just a few swings of the blade. And that's gonna be a push in the mid lane. Stark really starting to apply a lot of pressure there. They tried the Jakiro for the Batrider, and while that may not seem like the greatest trade, it's actually quite alright. That's actually not that bad. Water. I like water. It's good. It's good. Let me go ahead and take this moment to advertise our sponsors. Water. Been part of the earth since ever, and you need it, so buy it. Thank you. Or don't buy it. Actually, just get it out of the sink. In a lot of places, that's gonna be fine. That's what I do. I don't buy water. I'm not stupid. I just open up the sink, and there it is. And it's fantastic water. It's actually, we have really good water around here. I know this is not really relevant to anything, but I don't care. We have really good water where I live. Like, so good that there's, like, literally no point to buying water. Because it's just the water out of the sink is better than the water you can buy. It's just kind of funny, I think. But anyway, I wonder what the Juggernaut is actually going for. He's gonna seemingly get jumps. Actually, Trixie gonna be called out here. The magic damage amplification on top of the spin, but we of course have the Gyrocopter around. Actually, the Enchantress as well. They get the Ice Path and Mind Control. Will for one more attack from the Enchantress is enough to do it, and Oxia takes the kill. They even get the healing ward, which is cute. However, they did use the Jakiro ultimate for it. Not really the biggest of deals. That doesn't really matter that much, right? Honestly, that ultimate is just not super powerful. Don't get me wrong. Right setup, right situation, insane. It's just kind of hard to get that right setup, and it's kind of hard to get in the right situation. So it's not the most reliable of abilities, right? It's one of those abilities that peaks really, really high. But it also, it also falls pretty low. However, we see the push coming out, and oh, Kuroki, negative 14 armor. It's just too much. He just drops instantly. That's crazy. And they're gonna keep pushing. Of course, they do have the Enchantress with the creep. They have the heals coming out from the Witch Doctor, Alchemist, who can just simply sit there and tank it for a little while if he needs to. Blink Dagger, by the way, picked up by Boogie. So that's gonna be a dead tower up top. And it seems like Liquid is currently under too much pressure to really deal with this, right? I mean, what is the counterplay? Now, we do have Matumba Man at the very least. He's sitting at the top lane. He's applying some pressure there, right? He got the tower, and he's just gonna keep pushing. But at the same time, he'll likely get a Hand of Midas soon. I think he probably has it already. Yeah, okay. So he got the Hand of Midas. He'll put that on the bear, which is fine, of course. By the way, you don't need to do it that way. Okay, so I'm not sure if Matumba Man knows this. I would assume he does. But I think I'll just bring it up anyway. It's kind of a misconception. Used to be the case that with a Lone Druid, you needed to use the Hand of Midas of the main hero, else you wouldn't get experience. Like, the bear would get the experience, but the bear doesn't get experience. Because the bear doesn't need experience. Right? So, they changed that though. They changed that. What you needed to do is you need to put like the Hand of Midas on the main hero, and then you like use the Hand of Midas and you put it back on the bear. Don't need to do that anymore, right? You can actually just put the Hand of Midas on the bear and use it from there. Yeah, I don't know. Like, sometimes you will actually find these old school players that are just like, oh, wait, wait, that's how it works now. Oh, shit, I didn't know, right? Like, you just miss a patch now. But of course, seeing as Matumba Man is a professional player playing for Team Liquid, I don't assume that's true right here. Just felt like bringing it up anyway. The mid tower is now getting sieged down, and you can see that Stark is really applying a lot of pressure. And Liquid right now just has the problem of not being able to fight into it, right? The Juggernaut doesn't really have much. I'm hoping there's something on the courier. Yeah, that's gonna be drums right here. They get the bottom tower at the very least, but while the Juggernaut picks up his drums at 13 minutes, you know, like, can he fight? No, I mean, soon he has to, right? Really soon he has to. And that's kind of a problem. Batrider, Blink Dagger, of course. That's a haste. That's kind of scary, actually. That's a really good rune for a Batrider. And Matumba Man, he's just, you know, having his bear farm up as much as possible, which is definitely a smart play, right? Like, you want that Spirit Bear to be doing well, because you need. Oh, okay. So he knows. I don't know. I just thought it was so weird that he put it on the Lone Druid first and then used it from there. No, I just thought it was a little odd. Bottom, by the way. Got Kuroki gonna be jumped. Oh god, look at that. Look at that. He just gets burst so quickly, man. He just doesn't have anything against all of that minus armor. And you of course have the completed Solar Crest now. I wonder what he's going for next. I wouldn't be too surprised to see something like a BKB or an Assault Cuirass. Maybe in some more just raw HP. Could be Ascension Yasha. Right? Actually really depends. Like a few Alchemist players like to go for you know, more of a supporting build, even at this stage, right? You get the Medallion, you get the Blink Dagger, and then you go for, like, I don't know, does your team have a mecha yet, right? Like, kind of that idea. Or, most people just go for fighting, right? So, BKB, Sanjin Yasha, Assault Cuirass. Maybe even a Radiance, though I don't expect that at this point. But, honestly, a Radiance, even right now, wouldn't be too late. It's just not, right? If he starts farming up for the Radiance right now, he'll probably get there by like 22 minutes. That's not bad. I mean, it's not great, but the Lone Druid won't get one earlier either. Actually, he will. Wow, he actually has a lot of money. Well, the Tumba Man, there we go, buddy. Farming up. Well, he is the second highest net worth in the game, only trumped by the Alchemist. And Alchemist is cheating, so you can't really feel bad about that, can you? Oh, will ya? Look at that. A Veil of Discord already down on the Skyrif Mage. That's crazy. That did not take long. And there's actually this interesting idea that Veil of Discord might just be like support drums, kind of. Right? Like you, instead of buying drums on support, you buy Veil of Discord, which does about the same in terms of survivability, just gives you that really active, really powerful active component, which is of course super handy for a Skyrif Mage specifically. So I don't know. It's kind of an interesting idea, I suppose. I'm kind of surprised Boogie didn't actually go for that. I feel like he could have maybe gotten it. I don't know. But yeah, the Juggernaut is just still farming up. His farm is even, you know, it's not that spectacular though. And actually got a bit of a jump at the bottom lane. Alchemist, however, will be fine, and that's gonna be the end of that, sadly. However, Varnix, invisible, he has an invisibility rune. He's looking for something. There's the Mud Golem coming in. Okay, we got a stun from the Mud Golem. Okay, we got 2 Mud Golems now. Even more stuns coming out. Vardex, he gets the... He gets the what's it called? Gets the... Paralyzing Cask. But it's not going to be enough. Juggernaut just TP's out. We had a bit of hesitation there from the Witch Doctor, I feel. Right, if he had just cast the ultimate immediately, maybe. Definitely would have been much closer than it ended up being. Yeah, you gotta be, you know, you just gotta commit to those things, right? Like, either you use it or you don't. Right, and either you use it right away or you don't use it right away. You just gotta, you know, kind of like make that decision before the fight actually starts, not during the fight. If you do it during the fight, then it's just not gonna be in time, right? We got the blink forward in a second. They're gonna be able to just murder Jerax. Oh god, man, that damage output. That damage output. I really want to see what Boogie goes for next. I'm super interested, right? There's, again, a lot an Alchemist can do at this stage. Nymphy, by the way, also has drums. Helm of the Dominator, so again, just kind of like an early fighting build right now. Oh, Boogie. Oh, wait, he actually gets him. They have a ward there, and mind control is gonna go down the courier. Oh, no, they do not get the courier on top of it. They totally could have, though. They totally could have. They did not want to commit to it. But the Juggernaut goes down, and Stark, they're looking to push now. That Roshan is gonna be attempted. Of course, they have that huge minus armor effect yet again coming out, right? The Solar Crest. Solar Crest. Solar Crest. There we go. Solar Crest used. On top of the mid, on top of the acid spray, right? That's a, look at that guy. He's just dying. He's just dead. Yeah, Roshan is gonna fall right here, and Nymphy picks up the edges. So this is not looking great for Liquid. They are falling behind quite a little, quite a bit, and it's not so much that they are behind. It's more about map position, right? And it's more about fighting potential. Right now, it still seems like Liquid can't really fight into this all that well, and that's a problem, right? Like, you can't have that. You need to be able to fight your opponents. If you can't fight your opponents, then you might as well quote it. But we're of course not at that stage yet. I'm just a little worried about Liquid. Now, at the same time, one thing to keep in mind is that a lot of this money that Stark has over Liquid, right? Actually, basically all of it is towers, right? A tower being worth, I don't know, like 1,500 gold? Maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. I'm not sure about the exact numbers. But this tower, and this tower are still alive for Liquid. So as long as they, like, stay in the game, right, you kind of have to think of towers as bags of gold, right? You can't take it right away. You can't just run in and take the tower as a like from your opponent and just activate that gold bonus for your entire team. However, if you do that and then the opponent manages to outlast you, right, and they manage to keep up even though you did get that early bonus, then your opponents still have those bounty to grab. And if you then start losing, you start losing really, really hard because you don't have access to that anymore, right? Actually, Fata diving in deep, the Firefly is gonna be able to keep him alive for a bit longer, but Boogie comes in. That's a dead Bat Rider. Yeah, Enchantress picks up that kill. That was greedy. That was really, really greedy. I wonder what mind control is going for. He still has drums. And only drums. Could be a Sanctioned Yasha, I suppose. I mean, he has 2 ground saved. Blink Dagger? BKB? Honestly, I'm not sure. I don't think BKB is the right call. But he needs something. He needs something. You know what actually would be cute is the Silver Edge, right? Like, you just get rid of Untouchable. But I'm not sure about that. Well, Matumba Man has his Radiance though. They're gonna start farming and fighting a little bit more aggressively. Channels, look at that. Dragonlance into Aghanim's. I like that. That's cute. Got Blink Dagger. Blink Dagger, best item. I'm just saying. With Dragonlance into Aghanim's, of course, like really powerful build. I think Dragonlance is a very good item for Enchantress. It kind of gives her all she needs, right? Like, she's made of paper, so you really want all the HP you can get. So even just 190 from the Dragonlance is actually kind of a big deal. She likes attack speed, of course, because she already deals a lot of damage with the Impetus. And of course the range works well with Impetus as well. So she just gets a lot of benefits out of having a Dragonlance, and I really like that item. She's getting pretty close to buying her Aghanims as well. So at that point she will have just a ton of range. So much range. Ah, there we go. Sanctioned Yasha. Alright. Good to know, good to know. Walex slowly trying to work towards his Aghanims. And the Jakiro actually picking up an Aether Lens. Wait, does that increase the range on this? Wait, does it increase the range on his spells? I suppose it should. Right, that's actually kind of scary. That's actually really cool. Wait, doesn't that make the Aghanims just pointless entirely? I mean, I'm just saying, doesn't that make that Aghanims just useless? Because that's all Aghanims does, it increases your range, so what's the point? Alright, I guess. So Trixie's just pushing top though. Of course, Jakiro is a pretty tanky hero, right? Not that easy to kill. And oh my god. Boogie gets Jarax. He just hits him a few times and Alchemist is toast, man. Alchemist is complete toast. Poor little guy can't really do much about this. And no, I like this. I feel like the Alchemist has recovered really nicely. Right, he didn't do well during the laning stage, but at this point he's quite powerful and he's really like using it to apply a lot of pressure. I think that's nice, right? A lot of alchemists, after they don't do well in the laning stage, they will usually just resort to like doing whatever they were doing beforehand, right? Like they'll just be like, oh right, whatever, I'll just get my radiance at 16 minutes then instead of at 10, right? And I'll just, oh god, that missile is gonna go fast, but I'll just get my Aghanim's or whatever, right? Like eventually, and then you have Alchemists that will just still like, okay, whatever, I got my Aghanims now, they're pushing my base, but I'll just go ahead and build Manta and Octarine. It's just like, dude, you're dying here. Oh, Boogie actually talking about dying. The Alchemist taking a lot of damage. He's still alive, but no, not enough. Trixie might actually be next in line. They just burst him down. That's a double kill for Fata. Nice, nice, that's a big deal. They get 2 kills right there. And Liquid is definitely still in this, right? They are not giving up on it. And this difference is shrinking, right? And actually now Liquid is in favor in terms of experience. It's just that, you know, it's Matumba Man. Let's be honest, right? It's just Matumba Man. It's entirely him. He is the one that's keeping up. He is the one that's buying a lot of, that's applying a lot of pressure, right? He's buying a lot of big items. He's just becoming powerful. And a Lone Druid is a scary hero. You don't really want a Lone Druid to become powerful. So, Matumba Man really keeping them in this. The Juggernaut still not that strong, right? He picks up a Vladimir. So, you can really tell that they have just delegated Matumba Man as their #1. They're just like, alright, okay, Lone Druid, you're gonna have to carry this, right? Like, the rest of us will just enable you, but you can actually carry this, so make that happen. And now this is exactly what I was talking about earlier, how the towers are just like bonus gold that you can get, right? Because now that Team Liquid is actually gonna get these towers, and oh, Boogie! Everybody's there! You can't go in like that, mate. Man, that was not the greatest right there. The Alchemist is looking for a little bit more, but if he goes in on us, he just dies, so he has to retreat. But you see how now, all of a sudden, this game just swings back into Team Liquid's favor. Right, like, this is starting to look bad for stock. And that's exactly it, right? Like, you take those towers early, then that means you're giving up farming time, right? You're giving up experience, because you're just not gonna be hitting as many creeps. You're just not gonna be getting as many kills. And, if you then don't make any use of that bonus, then, you just fall behind once the opponents can reclaim it. That's kind of a problem. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know, it's Dota. Dota's cool, man. Dota's really cool. Boogie is definitely looking for another kill. He activates the Unstable Concoction, blinks forward. He wants Matumba, man. Activates the ultimate, but he gets stunned into place! Or rotted, you know, like rooted into place. However, of course, the Lone Druid, he does have the Savage Roar. He just keeps the enemies away. They don't want to deal with the force of nature that he is. And it seems that's going to be the end of that fight. Actually, Fata looking for a little bit more. He does have the Blink Dagger, he does have the TP boots. He should be able to spot out Trixie. But no, actually, sadly, not quite enough. So, but he's still scouting for something. In the end, he'll just have to give it up. And, well, that is that, as they say. As they say, and he picks up a BKB. Juggernaut, what is he getting apart from the Vladimirs? I mean, I still think like Ascension Yasha would be a bad choice, right? Just like get some damage, but you could also go for Asokras, Lightnings. What else would buff up your team? I'm just really not sure. Is this, there are some interesting choices to be made here. Fairly interesting choices to be made here. But if I had to guess, I would say maybe even Aghanims or BKB. mean, you don't really buy Aghanim's on Juggernaut anymore, but this guy's not going to be dealing a lot of right-click damage anytime soon, right? So why not? Like, just rely on your ultimate. It's a good ultimate. It's going to get you far. But Diffusal, that is interesting. That is really interesting. I wonder why. I wonder why. Well, it's a good item, don't get me wrong. There's just nothing specific that you want to perch off. Right, and that's usually when you get a diffuser. You don't just buy a diffuser because you really want a diffuser. You buy a diffuser for something specific. And there is nothing specific on stock. So it seems he's just gonna grab a casual diffuser blade. That's cool. I mean, it's a good item, don't get me wrong. It's a very good item. I don't know, it's kind of odd. Oh well. And at this point, yeah, Team Liquid is just... they are just ahead. And if you look at this graph, right, you can't just see the tendency there, right? This is not gonna swing back in their favor if this keeps going. You gotta change up something, and this is what we're looking for. Boogie jumps in on Jerax, actually gets quite a bit. Oh, the big stun from the Hero! That's 3 heroes! We got the Witch Doctor ultimate coming out, it's trying to burst on Matumba Man, but there we go. Of course, the Oracle keeps him alive. In the meantime, the Enchantress in the background, she throws out the impetus as much as she can. Well, they get the Lone Druid. Mind Control is still alive, but currently it's Okja against both Vata and the Juggernaut. She tries to TP out the spin, and it keeps her in place for long enough. Mind Control, he comes rushing in now. Oh, wrong direction. Vata, however, should be able to get at least 1 stack of Sticky Napalm. And that's going to be enough to slow down the Jakiro for a little while. The second stack comes out. Of course, those also give vision for a short duration. Ice Path. Gonna keep Vata in place for a little bit, but oh no, he misses. He misses the stack. And now it's actually Trixie that might be looking at getting that kill. They do not have the Juggernaut around, and Vata is actually diving pretty deep. Ice Path will not connect. Batrider is still on the run. No, he's just gonna TP out and be fine, man. It was an interesting encounter because between the Jakiro and the Batrider. That was kind of cute. Alright. Alright, but I don't know if that was good for stock. I'm actually pretty sure it wasn't. They only got the Jakiro out of there where everybody else dropped. And yes, they got the Lone Druid at the very least. Oh, by the way, what the fuck? Really? Why? Why? Oh, come on, man. Oh, that's funny. But... you know, they got the Lone Druid. That's kind of the big kill. That's the kill you're looking for, but he still has his own Soul Cross now. And that bear is just growing nasty. And look at Vata, he's not afraid. He wants something. He's actually gonna get Nymphy if he wants him. Pings him out. They're looking for this. And there we go. He jumps in. He grabs the Gyrocopter in the background. We've got Trixie already coming out with the Ice Path. That's going to deal a lot of damage. But Matumba Man is tanky. Mind Control is tanky. And Magic Immune. They do not get much follow-up. And that's just going to be a healing ward. In the meantime, it seems like Liquid is now looking to turn this around. Vata is jumping back in again. Boogie. He wants the Batrider. He gets a few hits in the Ice Path. No, the Oracle at the last second. He's keeping his ally alive. Now we've got the Entangle on the Jakiro, and Jakiro will fall. He goes down to the Lone Druid. Matumba Man is still looking for more. Batrider, of course, surviving all of that. And in the end, it was a long fight, but only 2 heroes fall. The Enchantress and the Jakiro. So Liquid, they are now looking at Roshan. They're gonna start working on this, and that should be a pretty quick kill. Yeah. Likely going on the Lone Druid. Yup. Who is, by the way, now starting to work on a hood. Where the hood, where the hood, where the hood. No. But where the hood at? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Where the hood at? But yeah, I don't know. Like, the main issue in those fights is really the Jakiro. The Jakiro deals a lot of damage. He's doing very well. But, oh my god! The cat! The Alchemist! Boogie is caught out and he's dead. He's dead. That's a dead Alchemist. That is really bad. That is really bad. Especially since they're right in front of their base. They're looking to push now. They're looking to push now. Oh god, this is just awful. Bottom lane's gonna be the target of choice. Luckily they do have a Jakiro who can just burn this down if he really feels like it. There we go. He puts down the Flame Path. Macro Pile, dealing a lot of damage. And well, actually, they might be able to kill the bear right here. He's getting healed up. No, they use the Oracle ultimate to keep the bear alive. And of course, with the healing ward, with all of the buffs. They throw him up. He's gonna be fine. That bear is still fine. And they actually just casually kill Trixie. Okia will be able to at least pick up that kill, but wait. Oh, that's weird. But no, the Lone Druid resummons, of course, and that's a dead barracks. Bottom goes down. Yup. They just use the spin really quick, and actually Batrider goes in. They get Nymphy, and Nymphy will be picked off yet again. Actually, Bardick's taking a lot of damage as well. Trixie, in the meantime, fighting it out with Matumba, man. We got Misha going up in the air. Matumba, man, is going to be taking a lot of damage here. He's still fine, but in the end, the Savage Roar keeps his team away, so Boogie doesn't really have much in terms of follow-up. However, they get the bear, right? So that's 80 seconds without a bear. Matumba, man, is forced to TP back, and he is forced to be useless. I mean, what the fuck is the bear gonna do without the bear? Right, like all of his items are on the bear, so that's kind of a problem. They lose the Spirit Bear, and it seems that this is the moment that Stark was looking for, right? Right now is the opportunity. They run in, they get a hit in on that tower, slowing its attack speed, right? And Boogie, he's just fighting it up. The Matumba, man, runs in, he knows how tanky he is. Look at this guy, he's just not going to be dying anytime soon. A nice benefit from this is also that the heals from Jerax are going to be more powerful. And, wow, look at this. There we go. The Macropire dealing a lot of damage. Boogie already dropping low as well. Jakiro just doesn't really have it in him to stop that Juggernaut. Mind Control is looking for more. He does have the Purge, of course, and they drop the Witch Doctor. Trixie might be next in line. Trixie gonna be picked off, and it's just Okia left. The Enchantress is the lone survivor, and she won't make it long. The GG comes out from Stark. They know this is over. They know this is over. They managed to win that fight without the Lone Druid. No, they didn't lose anyone. There was nothing that Liquid could really do to lose that game unless they throw it super hard. And Stark just GG's out. They know it's a best of 3. Let's just move on. Anyway, so yeah, with camera this time, I don't know if that's better or worse, but whatever. Hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a rating on the video, and hope to see you tomorrow. Goodbye.